I'm a professional organizer and I have to show you what my 4-year-old's room currently looks like. This is what I am dealing with right now. And it is the perfect example of how clutter attracts clutter. We actually had to take out his entire closet. Oh, it's not like there's nothing in there. I had to like take out the piece of the closet because that is where the attic access is. We needed to deal with the insulation on this half of our house. Once everything came out of the closet and it stayed like this, it was just like a clutter magnet. Like I had cute labeled bins in his closet and they were all stacked up, but once things like came out of the closet and it was already a little bit messy, it just attracted more and more clutter. And then the attic wasn't finished for like a couple of weeks, so it had to stay this way. Just to say that sometimes shit happens and it's okay when your house is a little out of whack. Stay tuned if you want to see me declutter and reorganize. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, putting that closet organizer back in the closet sucked. Like it really sucked. There's a reason that I hate doing it. It's not that it's like technically difficult, but it just, anyway, I was sweating. But anyway, here is the process. Here is what I did. In theory, this closet organizer just kind of like clicks into place and you use a little screwdriver to just like twist it and like lock it in place. But I don't think my walls are completely straight. So there's this like spine that's installed against the back of the closet wall. And I basically just had to slide those like long vertical pieces on. But what took me a long time, and I cut a lot of this out, was that I had to get them the right distance apart to get the like top pieces in and to click properly. And I don't know, I was literally sweating. I also think that all the crap from my son's room is on top of the vent that is supplying the air conditioning to this room. So it was like extra hot in there. And then once I had like all those pieces into place, I kept thinking like, okay, now it's going to be the easy part. It's going to be smooth sailing from here. I just click, click, click. And then like, you know how things go when you're doing something that you think will take like 30 seconds and actually takes you 30 minutes. Nothing was working. And then I called my husband because I couldn't figure out where he put those little pieces that hold the shelves up. It turns out he had put them on the chair, or quote unquote, they got moved during this whole process. So it took me a while to find them. I was really annoyed. I may have to move the shelves around a little bit later, but it's not a huge deal. I figured I would just use like the kind of boxes, the kind of bins that I have already to just space it out a little bit so I could at least start getting stuff off of the floor and into the closet. To be quite honest, the whole thing took about 15 minutes, but it felt a lot longer when I was in it. But there it is. It's done. Put the rods up, put everything. Now it's time to get organized. There is like a not so small part of me that just wants to quit and give up, but that's part of the reason that I shared this on social media today, especially since I got all sweaty putting the closet organizer back in the closet. Oh, you can see like my hair's not great. Anyway, there is definitely a part of me that wants to kind of be like, no, I'm not doing this today. Like, it's just too much and I just don't want to. But that is part of the reason that I shared it on social media with you, because sometimes I need accountability as well. So I'm going to try and like take a step back from this and deal with this in the same way that I would if this was a room in my client's home. So because this space was feeling like completely overwhelming to me for whatever reason, I decided to tackle it the way I tackle my client's home, one category at a time, and kind of just go through the 5 steps I always take to organize virtually any space, which by the way, I have them like listed for free on my website as like a freebie, so you can go check it out if you want. And the first step in this process is to take it all out. So thankfully that was done already. It had all been taken out for over 3 weeks. So I just had to skip over the first part. The next step in my organizing process is to sort like with like. So I decided to just tackle like 2 categories today. So I grabbed all the books that I saw that were lying around on the floor, underneath, whatever, and put those together because I know they had a home on the bookshelf. And I also grabbed the category of toys and I put them all together. They go in those 2 little bins and I move the furniture back into place. I will say that I'm not actually kind of going through and organizing and decluttering the toys and the books right now. I've decided that this room is just too much, so I'm kind of just putting everything back. We do need to do like a total toy organization, and we've done the books relatively recently, and also like they fit in the space, right? The books fit on those 2 little shelves, the toys fit in those 2 little baskets, so that's going to be like a later project that I will do. Right now the goal is to just reset this room so I can go through the clothes. I actually ran out of storage while I was filming this, so part of what you don't see here is also me taking all the tutus, or like the stuffed animals, and I put them all together into, we have like 2 baskets for them, because as much as it annoys me, my kids love their stuffed animals. And I know it's just a phase, so I let it go. We're holding on to way too many than I would like, but it's okay. It's fine for now. It's their stuff. As I'm putting the books back here, I am not really putting them back in like any particular order. I'm just making them all fit because for a 4-year-old's room, realistically, if I do something like put them alphabetical or color code or whatever, it's going to be for nothing. He goes and picks a couple books every night. He'll put them back wherever. So for me, that's just not a good use of my time. But if that's something that you like to do in your space, definitely go for it. I love how like aesthetically and visually pleasing it is to have it kind of organized by color. The same kind of goes for his toys. He's like a dumper, right? He will take everything out and just kind of dump it out. So that's why I have like 2 biggish bins of toys in his room. That being said, he is getting a little bit older, so probably my next phase in this will be to kind of organize into like categories. I'll be tackling all the clothes in the next part, so go check it out and see what I do. All right, I'm going to show you where we landed at the end of about 30 minutes. Much better. I vacuumed a bit. I've consolidated the crap. So mainly clothes over there, and I've cleaned up like the toys and the books. There's still a lot of crap there. And let's look in the closet. This is where we are in the closet so far, but I do have other things to do other than just this today. I've got some work to do, and then I need to go pick my little ones up from school. So we're gonna leave this for now. I'll either come back to this later tonight, or not tomorrow. I have a client, the next day I have a client, maybe the day after that. We'll see. It's the next day and I still have the mess. I did clear off the floor and shoved all the clothes onto the bed yesterday, so at least we have some categories that are done. I'm going to tackle the rest of this today, and I'm just going to kind of sit down and sort everything out into the clothes categories. I was actually supposed to be on site with a client today, but she texted me yesterday and she was sick, and instead of texting my other clients to be like, oh, I have this day, I'm like, I'm gonna take this day for me to kind of reset in the house, because there's just so much going on between 4 kids and baseball and end of school and all that stuff. So let's finish this room. I need this off my plate. So in one of the previous videos, I talked a little bit about the first 2 steps of my organizing process. So the first one was to take everything out, and the second one was to sort like with like. So this is going to be kind of like a continuation of the sort like with like, because I already did the toys and I did the games and I put those together and I'd thrown all the clothes onto the bed. But now I'm like doing a second sort. Even though all the clothes were together, for me, we kind of divided up into different categories. So I have like shorts together, I have sweatpants together, t-shirts together, long sleeve together, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here, is I'm just dividing everything up, and just keep in mind, like, it always gets bad before it gets better. The third step in my organizing process is to declutter, and I'm kind of doing these together. Like, as I'm sorting out the clothes, I'm assessing what still fits, what doesn't, what he wears, what he doesn't, and doing a little bit of a declutter. And I try to separate the piles as much as possible, so that way I can see what the distinction is between these. I don't know if you can. When you're organizing, it's really important to keep in mind that it always gets bad before it gets better. Then the next step, number 4 in my process, is to put it back and contain it. And that is what I'm doing here. I have these little kind of drawer organizers that I really love, and these go into his dresser, and this is what he chooses his clothes from on like a daily basis. His closet tends to be a little bit more for like storage and stuff he doesn't use as often. I did it. The room is clean. It's done. Let me give you a quick tour. Taking this video kind of reminds me that I probably need to redecorate his room, since this was only done when he was a baby, and now we've moved to like a big boy bed years ago. Also, he likes to put stickers on his walls, so don't judge. When we had this closet organizer initially installed, I opted to go with shelves instead of drawers, number 1, because they are way cheaper, and number 2, because I can really change what I'm doing. So I just have like open baskets and bins that I can use, and they basically act like drawers, but for like a fraction of the cost. Some of these I have fancy labels on, and some of them I just use my label maker. Labels are really like the roadmap to like help keep things organized. Again, his closet is mainly for storage. It's only the stuff on the bottom right that he actually uses and accesses on his own. By the way, he was so impressed when he got home that I did this all by myself. Anyway, let me know if there's anything else you want